and that has to do with the abduction of the 234 Chibok girls. This time around, we shall be taking a look at some of the security breaches that has trailed the development, and with a particular reference to the controversies over foreign intervention. Some Nigerians are of the belief that, well, let's invite them. Others are saying, look, Lawal-Oloki, to use that language. Well, all the same, somebody who knows it all, let me put it that way, and somebody who has seen it and who will continue to see it as far as all this foreign whatever is concerned, is right here in the studio to take a look at this development. He will bring his wealth of experience to bear by virtue of the fact that over the years he has been there, though he is now back home for one reason or the other. As I introduced Professor Adekunle Lawal-Oloki, who will be taking a look at security breaches and controversies over foreign intervention. Prof, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
And, like Moshood said, we're looking at Nigeria, security breaches and controversies. Controversies so far what? Over foreign intervention. Let us start this way, Prof. To what extent will you say breaches could go before you have this foreign intervention?
Thank you so much. I thank God for giving me the opportunities to be here today. 4 months ago, I was on this program. I was in the country to offer my expertise to the development of Nigeria. Today, I'm here by the grace of God to offer my expertise to the development of Nigeria in the aspect of security bridges. It is ridiculously disgusting. It is outrageous that we are having to go through these security challenges in Nigeria, in the 21st century Nigeria. For instance, Nigeria, as it were, is not properly packaged, is not well prepared to face security challenges of this magnitude. The security breaches we are experiencing now in Nigeria is caught Nigeria unaware because Nigeria did not prepare for it. The intervention of foreign people, to be specific, the U.S. Marine, is even long overdue, because the primary obligations of any responsible federal government is safety of lives and properties. When people on a daily basis are being killed, when people are being slaughtered like animals, it is the obligation of any responsible government to take action to stem the tide, to stop it. But the challenges we have was an emergency situation which needed emergency intervention. Because the military, Nigeria military, is helpless and helpless. So that informed why the foreign military came on board to support Nigeria military in our determination to stop or to drastically reduce terrorism. Let us try to tackle issues from the right perspectives. Let us offer dispassionate and objective opinion analysis of things. The Boko Haram insurgents, so to say, the so-called Islamic evangelists, they are not Muslims. Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims. They are terrorists. It took federal government months. They were trying to inject politics into it to declare the insurgent a terrorist group. They are terrorists. We should not divide ourselves. Nigeria is a united country. We must not divide ourselves along tribal sentiment or religious dogmatism. That is why it's very, very important, before we can even tackle the problem of security challenges, we need to tackle things and put things in the proper perspectives. Because they are terrorists, they are not Muslims. That is number one. Number two, the foreign people that came is because Nigeria, we don't have credible intelligence. We need credible, reliable, and 21st century intelligence for us to tackle the problem of security challenges. Nigeria, as it were, is very, very disheartening, heartbreaking, and barbaric that we still rely on the 19th and 28th century facilities, our military. And the military, as it were, is even being infiltrated by the Boko Haram insurgents. There is no trust. Boko Haram insurgency or the security challenges that is confronting us as a country is not a rocket science. They are man-made problems. We cannot pray our way out of it. They are man-made problems.
Okay.
We need.
Okay.
But if we should allow
we are looking at the controversies now, and if you monitored quite a lot of comments from other countries of the world, like the US and France, especially, and most important
the one
of them,
you read this morning.
Yes. Most important of them is the remarks by the Republican presidential candidate John McCain, saying that the American wouldn't have waited for a practically no government in place in Nigeria. People have reacted to this. As a Nigerian, how complimentary do you think this remark is?
That is why corruption and corrupt practices is very, very unfortunate. But I need to keep saying that has messed up our system. That is why these foreign people, US marine to be specific, can come on board to support Nigeria in our determination to rescue these guys, these young girls. They must be rescued. When you put, it's a very delicate balance, but we need to strike the balance. Is it good for them to come and safeguard our territorial boundaries and rescue these girls, the innocent girls, and stamp out Boko Haram insurgency? Is it good for them to come and do that? Yes or no? Everybody will say yes. If they come, would they be privy to probably some of those things that in the first place, this foreign country in the first place ought not to have been privy to? Yes or no? Yes, because we allowed the situation to degenerate because of the mess in the system. That is why they came. So when you weigh the merit and the merit of this foreign intervention outweigh the demerit. The advantages override the disadvantages. So that is why they came. So there is no amount of price that is too high for us as a country, or sacrifice for us as a country to pay to rescue these innocent girls, to safeguard the life and properties of the citizens. Now, we cannot continue to pretend as if everything is fine. Nigeria is now in war situation. We can have civil war, and we can have another war through the insurgency, and that is what we are witnessing now. And it's threatening our corporate coexistence as a country. It's threatening us. It's militating against our unity. It's threatening our economy. So that is why these people that are coming to help us, I know it's painful, but we cannot pretend as if everything is fine. We don't have the capability. We don't have the technical know-how. We don't have the science and tech that is needed, necessary to deploy, to rescue these guys. That is why they came. When they came, what did they do? You know what they did? I keep saying this. Nigerian military is corrupt. Corruption has penetrated deep into the fabrics of Nigeria's political system, into our structures. So that is why this thing is happening. So when they came, they tried to go through the intelligence. Do we have credible intelligence as a country? No, we don't have it. Do we have intelligence to share between Nigeria and the neighboring countries like Chad Republic, like Niger Republic, like Republic of Benin, like Cameroon? Do we have credible and reliable, responsible and dependable 21st century intelligence? Credible intelligence that is necessary for us to share. We don't have it. We don't have that. There is a need for government. So as a matter of urgency, establish the Department of Crime Scene Investigation The Department of Crime Scene Investigation is going to be manned, staffed, properly staffed with forensic analysts, with people that can interpret the DNA evidences, the shoe impression. We need to have a data bank, the central data bank. So when we put all our data in the central data bank,
currently all lacking in Nigeria, is that what?
Yes, they are lacking. They are lacking. We don't have it. We don't have it. Anybody can just call me from Niger Republic without fingerprint being taken. We don't even know who is committing the crime. If any crime is committed, we need to prevent people from invading the scene of the crime. That is the function of the crime scene investigator. You need to stop people from coming there, because if people come there, they are able to obliterate. They are able to obliterate and tamper with the evidences, like fingerprints, the shoe impression, the forensic analysis, all these evidences. They will tamper with it. They will obliterate them. And if we don't have reliable evidence that is necessary for us to apprehend the culprit, to arrest the insurgent, and effectively bring them to justice, they will, because our criminal justice system is weak. That is, we are still going to that. Okay. So because of that, even if any insurgent is arrested, believe you me, that insurgent is more likely to escape, to be released. Because of what? We don't have credible intelligence that is capable enough to convict.
Yes. Let's cut you short from that, particularly as we take you back to the issue of corruption, which you say has now infiltrated the military.
Yeah.
If you take a look at one of the dailies, particularly the Punch this morning, element of altercation between the Minister of Finance and the military. Like the military did say that no budget will be enough to meet military demands, but for now I think the sector takes almost $1 trillion of the budget. That is credited to Okonjo Iweala. But the military is now saying it is not just about non-release of appropriate funds. Even money approved by the president was not released. Is that an element of do we now say that has justified the corruption allegation you leveled against the ministry, or where do we go from this
absolutely You see, this parachute stealing of our commonwealth must stop. I said it before. If we really want to move forward as a country, we want to develop, now the money is released, the money didn't get to the right.
The minister says people. About 130 billion naira has been so far released.
The money was released on paper. Was the money prudently managed? Yes or no? It's no. Because the money is released on paper, the money didn't get to
the appropriate
channels. So that is why we keep repeating all this mess. A couple of weeks ago, Nigeria was adjudged. I don't know how they came about that. That Nigeria economy is the strongest economy in Africa.
Not the strongest, the biggest, the largest economy.
That is laughable. We are just making mockery of ourselves. When youth, they are unemployed or half-employed. When these roles, they are deplorable. When we can't even invest in human capacity development, that is what they call unconventional development. Investing in youth, investing in working populations. When most people, when they can't even afford 3 square meals, and you are telling me Nigeria economy is the strongest, the largest. Nigeria economy, maybe on paper, I don't know how they came about that. That we should stop all this. People are suffering. And that is why we have this Boko Haram insurgency. Because people that are suffering, if people, especially the youth, if they do not see prospect in their future, if they do not see prospect in their challenges, if they do not see light in their difficulties, if they do not see hope in their way of living, they are more likely to go into criminalities and social vices. Anybody that is educated, anybody that is able to see light in its challenges is far not possible for the person to engage in criminalities. We need to invest. We need to have strong education. We are coming to that. You are offering a
solution. Let's discuss the issue, right?
We're looking at the controversies.
Yeah.
And of late, we've had cause to read from the pages of newspapers altercations between the political party in government and the major opposition.
Yes.
People have played a lot of politics with this, and you have controversial comments and people threaten legal actions. To what extent will you say this will compound the problem or solve it?
That must stop. This problem of Boko Haram insurgency, or the insecurity, as it were, we are experiencing in the country, is a national disaster. It's a monumental tragedy. It's tragic. It's situation. We shouldn't inject partisan politics into it. We should put us together as Nigerians to rescue this country from the brinks of collapse. To rescue this country, because this country is fastly becoming a failed state. We must save this country. You know what? If something is wrong, collectively, we should call it wrong and provide workable and lasting panacea solution to make things work, to fix it. It's not about being PDP, about APC, or Labour Party, or ABGA. Let us forget about partisan politics and try to work together as country. This is a period of sober reflection for us in this country. And we need to do everything that is humanly possible to rescue this country. We must protect our heritage. We must protect this country before we can even talk of politics. We are practicing politics because we have a country. So now, let us put hands together. Forget about party. If anything happens, we should try to carry out investigation. About 8 weeks ago, in Yaya, to be specific, I was in Ontario, Canada, for a paper presentation when the bomb blast happened in the parking lot. So immediately, the PDP, they are trying to exchange verbal altercation with APC. APC exchanging verbal altercation. I mean, shifting blames, shifting responsibility. This is not time for blame games. No, this is not time for that. How did PDP know that APC is behind the explosion? Did they carry out any investigation? Did they even carry out any forensic, any fingerprint, any DNA evidence, any impression evidence? Did they even go to the central data bank? Do we have central data bank in Nigeria? So what made them to know that APC or PDP? No, that is too early for you to jump into conclusion that a particular party is behind the attack. We should not inject politics into.
Let us look at. Okay, Mashood.
Yeah, I want us to take a look at another dimension to the whole thing, and that has to do with what I would call international solidarity that greeted the entirety, many countries of the world, the US, the UK, whatever, showing support for Nigeria and giving their intention to help. And they've deployed their various arsenals and what have you to the country with a view to saying that, look, at the end of the day, these girls, one way or the other, they are not just seen but to return safe to their family. Yeah. I want your comment on this international solidarity that is what Nigeria has earned. In fact, convincingly from all parts of the world. It's a thing of joy that all these countries of the world decided to come together for once to say, look, it is high time for us to do what? To support.
It's Nigeria. A welcome development. I loved it. In fact, and I love it. I was even part of these people that protested about 3-4 weeks ago in New York. And it's a welcome development. It's taking global dimension. And people, they are outraged. People are upset because injustice to one is injustice to all. So, especially the life of these innocent girls is very, very precious to me as an individual, as a father, because I have a baby girl too. So, and to us as Nigerians, and globally, they are taking the bull by the horn. They are joining Nigeria, in solidarity, to make sure that these girls not only released by the captors, but they are reunited, brought back safely to their families, which is a very, very commendable development. So, as I've said, we can't pray our way out of it. To stop the insecurity problems we have, we need to deploy 3 solutions. Let me just summarize it. 1, political solutions. 2, developmental solutions.
For the solution,
okay.
Do you see element of sincerity or insincerity as being
especially when you look at various predictions, permutations about the continued existence of Nigeria.
I mean, it's not easy to jump into conclusion that maybe the international communities, maybe they are not sincere. It's because Nigerians in diaspora, for several weeks now, they have been protesting continuously. In New York, went to Nigeria house in New York. In London, went to Nigeria house in London. Globally, everybody is...
It has taken a global dimension.
Yes, so even if they are pretending, the pretense is worthwhile. I'm seriously, because these guys, we need to draw the attention of the international communities, especially international bodies like African Union. African Union, at this point, I need to say, it's not doing enough. African Union is not doing enough because most African countries, they look up to Nigeria for leadership. For Africa to get it right, Nigeria must get it right. If Nigeria fails to get it right, Africa will remain backward. Africa, in 19th century, Africa and Asia were behind. That was 19th century. Africa, Asia were behind. Now, Africa is behind. Asia is competing favorably with Western world. China, to be specific, India, to be specific. They are competing favorably with Western world. Why are we still backward in Africa? So for Africa to get it right, Nigeria, because 1 out of 3 Africans is a Nigerian because of our population. The population of about 160 million. That is
what could have accounted for that backwardness, if I may quickly take you on that?
It's because of corruption.
Okay.
And before we go to corruption, because we don't have the structure, because the electoral system in almost all African countries is heavily compromised.
Okay.
It's messed up. It's corrupt, the electoral system. And there is no way you can build house on deceit and lies, and you expect that house to stand test of time. So the people that are benefiting from this corrupt electoral system now happens to be our leaders. Not all of them, don't get me wrong, but most of them, most African leaders, because they are beneficiary of this compromised electoral system. So by the time they take over the matter of leadership, they get to ends of affair. They don't have the intellectual capability that is necessary to drive forward, to move forward Africa. That is number 1. Number 2, we have so many low people in high positions in Africa. People that do not have what it takes to lead. Leadership is not about being nice. Leadership is not about being friendly with the people.
Or humble.
Because that guy...
Or being generous.
Being generous. That is not leadership. That is why we are back. I'm sometimes sorry to say, I'm well traveled. Leadership is ability to inspire people, to impact their life positively without you even knowing that you are doing so. That is leadership. Secondly, leadership is ability to have what it takes to lead people. So we are being led likely by people that do not have what it takes to lead us as Africans. So that is why it's now coupled with the corruption and corrupt practices.
Èèyàn wálé tí ẹ ti ń bá wa bọ̀ láti gbàdá ti síde ètò eléyìí. Àlejò wa tí ẹ ti ń gbé dé Amẹ́ríkà lẹ́nu. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Adékúnlé Lawal-Oloki, àwọn lájọ ń wo kókó tí à ń gbéyẹ̀wò lónìí. Ó náà ni àwọn ètò ààbò tó mẹ́hẹ àtàwuyewuye tó ti wà ń díẹ̀ nítorí pé àwọn ìbò àtàwọn orílẹ̀-èdè mi wọ́n wá ràn wá lọ́wọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Boko Haram. Ojú wo la fi ní ẹ fi wò náà ni ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tí ń dà látọ́ni. Ẹ já bẹ̀rẹ̀ bí ẹ̀yin wo ọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè pàápàá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Boko Haram, kò ṣe Boko Haram. Ojú wo lẹ́yìn fi wò pé bí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe wá dàrú yìí tí wọ́n ń pa kúkú tán pa gígùn yìí àti báwọn orílẹ̀-èdè alágbára lágbàáyé sì ní àwọn wà fún wa lọ́wọ́ tí èsì pé àlọ́ olóńgbò wọn àti kẹ́ran jẹ́.
Ẹ ṣe atọ́kùn tí ẹ bá wò dáadáa wọ́n ní ọ̀rọ̀ ṣùnùkùn ojú ṣùnùkùn la fi ń wò wọ́n ní ọmọ ọ̀sán ló ń kó kóńdó báyẹ̀ ẹrú kan ni mo ní gbogbo ẹrú àwọn elédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì tí wọ́n wá láti wá ràn wá lọ́wọ́ láti wá àwọn ọmọ tí àwọn Boko Haram tí wọ́n jí gbé ní Chibok ní nǹkan bí oṣù kan àbọ̀ sẹ́yìn kò kí ń ṣẹjọ́ wọn ẹjọ́ wa ni tí a bá mọ̀ ọ́n ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè tí àjẹbánu tí ò bá sí tí ọ̀rọ̀ ajé tí ó gbèrú tí àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ mílítírì wa àwọn jagunjagun wa tí wọ́n bá dángájíá tó bá làmìlaka tó bá kójú òṣùwọ̀n tó bá tẹ̀wọ̀n àwọn òyìnbó ò ní wá láti wá ràn wá lọ́wọ́ nítorí ìjẹkíjẹ ìmọ̀tara ẹni nìkan tí ó wà ní àárín àwọn ológun Nàìjíríà táwọn pè ní Nigeria military wọn ò ní nǹkan tí ó yẹ kí wọ́n ní láti lè bá àwọn Boko Haram jà àwọn Boko Haram wọ́n ní àwọn nǹkan ìjagunjagun tí ó dángájíá ju ti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ kò yẹ kí èyí rí bẹ́ẹ̀ a ní àwọn nǹkan tó ń pè ní technology àwọn nǹkan ìgbàlódé irinṣẹ́ tí wọ́n lè lò láti gba àwọn ọmọ ìsílẹ̀ nílẹ̀ òyìnbó wọ́n ń pe kinní kan ní drone yẹn ni pé ọkọ̀ bàálù tí ò ní sí èèyàn bẹ̀ tí a máa kiri a máa kó òyìn àwọn ìbólókò wa ó yẹ káwa ní bí àwọn ìbólókò wa Amẹ́ríkà US Marine ló kó wa ìjẹkújẹ ni àjẹbánu arówó Nàìjíríà ní owó ọkọ̀ bàálù kò ní sí èèyàn bẹ̀ a máa kó òyìn a rí pé gbogbo ibi tí àwọn insurgent wà ìyẹn àwọn ajìjàgbara eṣiṣẹ́ òkọ́kú Boko Haram ibi tí wọ́n sá sí ibi tí wọ́n wà àwọn ọkọ̀ yìí a máa pò yìí a rí wọn àkọ́kọ́ nìyẹn ẹ̀kejì ní pé tí ọkọ̀ yìí ìyẹn ọkọ̀ bàálù yìí ó ní nǹkan tó ń pè ní area camera tí wọ́n ti ní tó yẹ kó lè ya fọ́tò láti òfurufú a ya fọ́tò láì jẹ́ pé yẹn wà kò sẹ́ni kankan tó bá wà ní ọkọ̀ òfurufú a ya fọ́tò àwọn eṣiṣẹ́ òkọ́kú Boko Haram a ya bí tí wọ́n wà tó bá yá ìyẹn ló pè ní satellite imagery a lọ interpret satellite imagery tó bá lọ interpret ní pé a lọ wò ó tí wọ́n bá wò ó wọ́n á mọ ibi tí àwọn tó ń jà yìí á mọ ibi tí wọ́n sá sí gbogbo yẹn a ní.
ẹ kú òní di tẹlifíṣàn yìí bẹ́ẹ̀.
ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Adékúnlé pẹ̀lú gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ ìmìnira dáre fádìpẹ̀ láti ìlú Iléṣà.
ẹ ṣeun.
bẹ́ẹ̀ rí ìwà ìbàjẹ́ ló máa fi di ṣáde ẹlẹ́bí Nàìjíríà délé ní ó ti pẹ́ ó ti wọ́n wá ìfẹ́rẹ́ lẹ́dún federal government láti fẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ àwọn tó ń sorí wa láti bẹ̀ láti gbàgbá di wòmíà ọ̀nà ìlú náà gbàdé bẹ̀ ìwúyẹ náà ló ń bá Nàìjíríà dìbò dé ìrọ́pẹ̀ta ìjẹkújẹ àwọn òfin ọ̀pọ̀ mọ̀ pé ẹ̀wọ̀ alábíyẹ̀dẹ ọ̀dọ̀ federal government ló ti wá akọ́síṣẹ́ lórí state ohun tó wà jẹlẹ̀ jáde nínú ní gbogbo ọ̀ka ipò wa pátá ó lóye ilé ìjọba àpapọ̀ lọ́pọ̀ jù wọ́n tó ti dé owó allocation mẹ́ta wọn state wọ́n wọ́n fọ́ bo irọ́ mọ́lẹ̀ wọ́n parọ́ irọ́ pẹ́pà òun àṣírí wọ́n fún ẹ̀wọ̀ lórí ogun ẹ̀wọ̀ mínísítà kọ̀fìlà wọ́n ta kọ àwọn báyìí gbogbo ilé ìgbà tó ń sọ nígbà tí mo bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ tẹ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn sọ wọn ò gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ náà ló fà á tẹ́lí Amẹ́ríkà tẹ́lẹ̀ fàtọ́wọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ kí ni wàá sọ pẹ́lú fáwọn yẹn gbogbo ara mẹ́ta fínísì Nàìjíríà lọ́sí olóòfin fún olóyè ọba dúró lé lórí àwọn ológun wa àwọn náà parọ́ ọ̀gbà òṣìṣẹ́ wa tètè rà ọ̀rọ̀ àtàkùrọ̀ àwọn ọlọ́ọ̀gbà wa rẹ̀
ẹ ṣe o alàgbà Fádípẹ̀ láti lè ṣá
bó ṣe ń dùn wọn náà
bó ṣe káwọn lára ni nígbà tí ẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan ní ìwà jẹgúdújẹrá ló fà
bẹ́ẹ̀ni
bó ló ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa bẹ́ẹ̀.
nǹkan tó fi ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé àkọ́kọ́.
ẹ̀já gbà pé ná. hello ẹgbẹ́
ẹ káàárọ̀. Ọláṣílẹ̀ promotion ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ láti ẹ̀yìn ọ̀sùn.
ẹ mọ̀ ṣéun.
yẹ̀sà mo kí prof. ṣe rí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. ẹ jẹ́ ká rò dáadáa torí Yorùbá ní ká bá ronú síwájú ká tó ronú sẹ́yìn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o.
ọgbọ̀n ọdún àti márùn-ún ni àwọn ológun fi ṣe olórí wa. wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ń pa nǹkan ìjà ogun.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
prof sọ̀rọ̀ nípa military intelligence gathering. àti military intelligence data.
Exactly.
now question tí ò sí láàrin wọn nígbà tí a bá jagun abẹ́lé for 3 years àwọn ológun bẹ̀rù lọ fún 35 years tí irú insurgency wá ṣẹlẹ̀ a ò gbọ́dọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ díẹ̀ lórí the present government and the president.
ẹ jẹ́ àgbélébì kan lọ́dọ̀ yín náà.
Because now ẹni tó lè ṣe náà ni pé he should be talking to the military service chiefs pé kí ni nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ kí ẹ̀yin gan ṣe tí kìíní àfìdí ìgbò. Now ìgbà tí òsì àwọn absolute equipment ta ní Jonathan ọmọọta nǹkan jagun kò lè jagun rí àwọn military chief náà ló máa gbẹ́kẹ̀lé. So àìtètè lónìí tí ó kó bá wà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Boko Haram ni pé àwọn olóṣèlú ló kọ́kọ́ ń sọ pé poverty ó pẹ̀lú kẹ̀kẹ́ àwọn òṣèlú dáadáa fún wọn kankan àwọn ọmọ wọn òṣìṣẹ́.
Ọlásílé.
Hello.
Ọlásílé ṣe wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ gbọ́rọ̀ tí Ọlásílé promotion sọ wọ́n ní àwọn ológun ṣèjọba ọdún márùndínlógójì pé àwọn ilé kan ra nǹkan ìjọgún lẹ̀ ṣé nǹkan ìjọgún yẹn máa rà pamọ́ ni àbí àtìgbàdégbà ni wọ́n máa tún mí ṣe.
Wọ́n máa ń rà pamọ́ àwọn kan wà tí yẹ pé wọ́n lè rà pamọ́ àwọn kan tún wà tí yẹ pé àtìgbà sí ìgbà.
irú drone tẹ̀ sọ yẹn wọ́n ti lè rà pamọ́.
No, wọ́n lè rà pamọ́. Drone is a new technology.
ló dàgbò ara yìí Ọlásílé promotion.
owó wà wọ́n sọ kínní kan tíyàn bá jẹ́ ìjọba olórí aṣíwájú tó bá débẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣíwájú ìjọba Nàìjíríà lọ́rọ̀ kọ́ ni kò jẹ́ sójà. You are the commander-in-chief of armed forces. Ìwọ ló máa appoint chief of staff, ló máa appoint chief of army staff, chief of defence staff. That is number one. Number two, tí èèyàn bá jẹ́ aṣíwájú, both credit and discredit of any government, dídá àti àléébù ìjọba ó máa sokọ́ aṣíwájú lọ́rùn. Jẹ́ kí ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ àti wàhálà àwọn Boko Haram kí ó wá sópin. Ìmọ̀ràn òṣèlú nìyẹn. Ìmọ̀ràn kejì ní ìmọ̀ràn ìdàgbàsókè. Ìmọ̀ràn kẹta ní ìmọ̀ràn security ló ń pè ní ààbò. Ẹ jẹ́ kí sáré yan ìmọ̀ràn òṣèlú. Àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ Boko Haram insurgent lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ terrorist ni wọ́n ń ṣe Muslim. Àkọ́kọ́ nìyẹn wọ́n ń ṣe Muslim terrorist ni wọ́n. Nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe act of terror ni.
Ìwà sùnmọ̀mí.
Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ Boko Haram insurgent yẹn àti àwọn ìmíì bóyá OPC ni o bóyá ìgbésù ni o bóyá efik ni o bóyá delta ni o bóyá gbogbo wọn káàkiri àwọn ajàjàgbara tí wọ́n wà káàkiri kí ìjọba àpapọ̀ kí wọ́n bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n tí Boko Haram ìyẹn ti kọjá wọn ibi tó dé ń sì ìmọ̀ràn àkọ́kọ́ yẹn wọ́n ti kọjá stage yẹn. Ìkejì Boko Haram wọn ò lè bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ ibi tí ó dé ń sì. Ìmọ̀ràn kẹta ìyẹn ni security plan ìyẹn ni ó wà applicable sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ti Boko Haram. Mi ò ní fẹ́ kí wọ́n bá àwọn yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ níbi tó dé nítorí pé ó ti pọ̀jù ìpayín kéke ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ ó ti pọ̀jù. Ìmọ̀ràn kejì ní ìdàgbàsókè ní pé kí provision of basic facilities kí àwọn ọmọ kí wọ́n lọ school kí àwọn tí wọ́n ríṣẹ́ wọ́n ríṣẹ́ tí oúnjẹ wà kọ́rọ̀ ajé wà àwọn arúgbó kí wọ́n lálàáfíà kí gbogbo nǹkan ọrọ̀ ajé ọ̀nà tó dá kó wà. Ẹni tó bá kàwé tó bá níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ kò ní so bọ́ǹbù mọ́ ara láti pa rẹ̀ láti pa àwọn èèyàn. Tí ọkọ̀ bá balẹ̀ ọkọ̀ àwọn aráàlú tó bá balẹ̀ ìjọba owó tá a bá ná sọ̀rọ̀ security gan á lọlẹ̀. So ìmọ̀ràn kẹta ẹ̀yẹ́ kí n sáré sọ ìkẹta ìyẹn ni security wọn láti sọ yẹn ní pé security wà ààbò òun ni ìmọ̀ràn kẹta. Ààbò yẹn ní pé kí àwọn ìjọba àpapọ̀ wọ́n rí pé irú state police tá a sọ yẹn náà wọ́n lè ṣe. Àwọn rí central data bank wọ́n gba ìka àwọn èèyàn sílẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ wá sí Nàìjíríà ìka ẹ̀ ti wà nínú central data bank. Ẹlòmíì lè dé láti Niger kó jalè kó sá lọ báwo la ṣe mọ̀ pé òun ló jalè a máa mọ ẹni tí ò jalè nítorí pé a ní credible intelligence. Ìmọ̀ràn kẹta nìyẹn pé ààbò a gbọ́dọ̀ ní intelligence a gbọ́dọ̀ ní àwọn ẹ̀rọ tó dángájá láti kojú ìpèníjà ààbò tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ẹ ṣe olóòtú.
Afẹ́dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín fún pípé tí a pè yín tẹ́ wá. Ilé tiwa ní pé lọ́jọ́ mi tí a bá tún pè yín yọ̀ sí bọ̀m̀bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí òdìkejì lọ́hùn. Ṣọlá ìgbọ́dọ̀ fọ̀ṣẹ́ wà tó wà ń bẹ̀. Kó tó dìgbà náà ẹ jẹ́ ká kàn wá nǹkan kan tá a fi rí kọjá sí abala